So every now and then I get some questions that I know that other people are interested in having answered. And especially as I'm perusing other people's YouTube channels and I see certain themes pop up over and over again, like, is the United States Mystery Babylon? Is the Roman Catholic Church Mystery Babylon? So that's what we're going to talk about today. I want to make this a pretty brief video. I've done longer videos on who is the harlot. If you want to look at a very long Bible study I did on the complicated relationship between the harlot and the beast, you can check out Revelation chapter by chapter and find Revelation chapter 17, and you'll get some information on that. But what I want to do is actually look at the passage real quick that talks about the harlot being seated on many waters, and also she is seated on a scarlet beast. We're going to see the destruction of the harlot in Revelation 18. But before we do that, we're going to be given a glimpse into this complicated relationship that the beast and the harlot have. And we're also going to be able to take the symbolism that we read in Revelation 17 about Mystery Babylon and be able to identify her in a general sense. And Revelation talks about this present global system, and we're not even talking about the beast, okay? We're not talking about the beast. The harlot is setting globalism up as a thing, so that when the beast actually comes on the scene, he can destroy her power, but maintain a bit of the technology and the globalism that she's put in place. Okay, Revelation 17, start at verse 1. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and said to me, "Come, I'll show you the judgment of the great prostitute who is seated on many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed sexual immorality, and with the wine of whose sexual immorality the dwellers on earth have become drunk." Okay, so first off, we see a woman seated on many waters. Okay, that's the first picture we have of her. The kings of the earth have committed sexual immorality with her. That is, the kings of the nations are in alignment with whatever this entity is doing. Okay, they're in alignment with it. They think it's fine. They think it's great. And the dwellers on earth, we're talking about earth dwellers here who aren't real people. They are the earthborn. That is, they are basically the equivalent of or comparative to the giants who were on earth prior to the flood. So they don't look like giants anymore, but they are still not real people. They are from the earth, as opposed to people who are created in the image of God, who are meant to be heaven dwellers. Okay, and that's another story. But this terrible woman sits on many waters, and she's called a prostitute. So what are the many waters that she's seated on? Okay, the many waters, we find out, are peoples and nations and languages and tribes and tongues. Okay, it's people. It's the sea of humanity, but it's not called a sea. It's called the waters. Why is that? There's a very good reason why she's not sitting on the sea. She's sitting on waters. And that is because the word sea is going to mean something else in Revelation. The waters where the woman is seated are peoples, nations, tribes, tongues, languages, and so on. The waters represent people. The sea is something else. In Revelation, the sea can mean one of two things. It's the actual seas, or it's the sea of death. So when the beast rises from the sea, he's rising from the dead. When the mighty angel steps on one foot on the land, one foot on the sea, what we're talking about here is people who are living, land of the living, and people who are dead. The mighty angel is Christ, who's going to take authority over people who belong to him and change them from mortal to immortal, whether you're alive or whether you're dead. When the sea is no more, okay, there's no more sea. Death and Hades are cast into the lake of fire, and the sea is no more. That is, there is no more place of the dead. Okay, that is no longer in existence. So the harlot is not seated on the sea of death or the actual sea. She's seated on waters, and we're told specifically what the waters are. And then in Revelation 17, verse 3, John says this: he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness. Okay, John is going to be in the spirit again. And according to other places in Revelation, we read about John being in the spirit on the Lord's day in chapter 1. John being in the spirit and being carried to a great high mountain. John is a time traveler. He's like Ezekiel, who was in the spirit and went all over the place in time and in space. And that is the meaning of being in the spirit in the book of Revelation. So he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was full of blasphemous names, and it had 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, so now we see this woman sitting on a beast, and these are the 7 heads right here. And we've got 10 horns right here. And all of this is symbolic, okay? But he's going to tell us what these things mean, right? The angel is going to describe to John what they mean, what they are. In this case, we're told what the 7 heads are. We're told what they are if we keep reading in Revelation 17. Verse 4 tells us that the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet and adorned with gold and jewels and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup full of abominations and the impurities of her sexual immorality. Right, so this is obviously an entity. Remember, this is a symbolic entity. She represents something symbolically. She's rich, which is what all the scarlet and purple and so on is all about. And I'm going to show you why we're not talking about the Catholic Church here in a minute. Okay, even though the cardinals and so on all wear scarlet and there's a lot of gold and riches and so on. The Catholic Church may be a part of the harlot, but she is not the whole thing. And I will explain to you why here in just a minute. So she has a golden cup full of abominations and the impurities of her sexual immorality. We're not talking about an actual woman who's sexually immoral. We're talking about a system of control and influence that panders to the kings of the earth. And on her forehead was written a name of mystery. Okay, so let's take a look at what does a name of mystery mean. A mystery in the Bible is something that we wouldn't know unless somebody told us. So this is an entity that we wouldn't know who she is, except for it's being disclosed to us. The other side of this word mystery, it comes from the Greek word mysterion, which means this. It means to keep a secret or to hold a secret. There's a group of people, if you want to call them that, who have secret societies, and there is a way that you gain information and knowledge about different things in these societies as you go up the ladder, as you go up degrees. So there is that kind of element. There's always been mystery religions, mystery schools, things that you have to be initiated into in order to understand what's going on. Okay, so she has a name of mystery, and for me, I take it to mean that we wouldn't know what this is here unless God revealed it to us. And it's revealed in the name Babylon, Babylon the Great. Mystery Babylon, or Babylon the Great. And it says here she's the mother of prostitutes and of earth's abominations. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints, the martyrs of Jesus. So this entity right here is going to be martyring many, many, many Christians. And in fact, according to the book of Revelation, this lady right here She will have ended up killing more Christians than even the beast does. So Babylon the Great, okay, if we go back to Babylon, Babylon is the same as Babel. They're the same, it's the same place. And you'll recall in Genesis, I believe it's Genesis 11, we have the story of the Tower of Babel. And this is the story of the first city. Okay, it's a story of the city. There were several other cities at the time, but Babel is the big city where a group of people said, let us make a name for ourselves. Let us not spread out the way God told us. Let's rebel against God. Let's take over the world and make it our own. Let's make a name for ourselves. And this is the animus that's behind this lady right here, is we're going to take control. We're going to make a name for ourselves. And so God came down from heaven. He saw what was going on at Babel, and he said, you know, if this continues, there will be nothing they can't do. And so what he did, rather than destroy this entity, Babel, he didn't destroy Babel. He allowed them to disperse through the confusion of languages. So when these people went out throughout the world, of course, they took the mysteries of Babel with them. They took all the things that they believed in, all the things that they were, their heart's desire to make a name for themselves, and it went throughout the whole world. So this entity right here is over the waters, peoples, nations, tribes, and tongues. Verse 15, the angel said to me, the waters you saw where the prostitute is seated are peoples and multitudes and nations and languages. It was the confusion of languages that was the way God mitigated Babel in the beginning. Babel, this as a system, okay, the Babylonian system, which is what we're operating under right now, is this Babylonian system is going to be destroyed in a two-part destruction. The first destruction will be just immediately before the beast begins to reign, actually on the same day. And because the beast hates the harlot, and the 10 kings hate her too. And this Babylonian system is going to fall in a major destruction before the beast begins to reign. And then when Christ returns, whatever's left of Babel, of Mystery Babylon, this system will be destroyed at that time. Here, Revelation 17, starting with verse 6. And when I saw her, I marveled greatly. That's what John said. But the angel said to me, why do you marvel? I'll tell you the mystery of the woman. I'm going to tell you about her. And the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns that carries her. Okay, 7 heads, 10 horns. The angel says, I'm going to tell you what you wouldn't know otherwise. Okay, because this is a mysterious thing. And then he says this, the beast that you saw, that is this beast right here with the 7 heads, was and is not, and is about to arise from the bottomless pit and go to destruction. Okay, it used to be, and then it wasn't. And then it comes from the pit and it goes to destruction, which I believe is the lake of fire. This word right here, it comes from the pit. It comes from the bottomless pit. And we know from Revelation that it's the angels from the bottomless pit who are going to come out of the pit, particularly Apollyon. Okay, Apollyon is called the beast who ascends from the bottomless pit. Is the one who kills the 2 witnesses. Okay, so the beast that you saw that is, he existed, and then he wasn't, and then he comes from the bottomless pit, and he goes to destruction. That is the lake of fire. And the dwellers on earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the foundation of the earth, will marvel to see the beast, because it was and is not and is to come. Was and is not and is to come. And that, my friends, the one who was and is not and is to come, is this guy right here. He's going to be, that's the 7th king. He's going to die, and he's going to become the 8th king. And this is a really bad guy. He's going to come to life again. So this is a mortal person who is here, who dies. He is. Something happens where he isn't anymore, and then he comes back to life again. He is, he was not, and is again. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman is seated. Now, this is where it gets weird, because people go, oh, the 7 heads, they're 7 mountains. We know Rome is a city on 7 hills. Therefore, the woman is seated on Rome. That's what people think, but you got to keep reading. You got to keep reading. It says they are also 7 kings. 5 of whom have fallen. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the time of John, these guys have all fallen. They've all fallen. When did John live? Okay, John lived in the early 1st century. That means that all of these right here were before John. The woman was seated on all of these 5. Actually, 6. John is the 6th one. 5 have fallen. He's the 6th one. These guys have all fallen. Rome, going backward. Okay, Rome, Greece, probably Persia, Babylon, and maybe Assyria and maybe Egypt. I don't know. But it's going way back, and the woman is seated on all of these, including the 7th king. Did the Roman Catholic Church exist in, like, say, Nebuchadnezzar's day? Did it exist at the time of Alexander the Great? Did it exist at the time of the Romans? No, the Roman Catholic Church did not exist before then. Okay, and so there are people who say, oh, it must be the United States. Did the United States exist in the 1st century? No, not at all. But when you get to where the woman is seated on this beast, we know that she's seated on many waters, that it's not just one country or one religion. She's seated on many waters, peoples, nations, languages, and tongues, and so on. And these 7 heads represent 7 kings. They represent empires and they represent kings. 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen. 1 is at the time of John, and the other is to come. Okay, right here. And when it does come, it will remain only a little while. A little while. Very little while, actually. Less than a year. Probably less than 6 months. This king will be here. As for the beast that was and is not, it is an 8th, and it belongs to the 7. So these 2 guys, the 7th and the 8th king, it's the same man. But by the time he dies and comes back as the 8th king, he's now a different creature. He's the 8th king. He's now indwelt by Apollyon. And you'll notice she only sits on 7 heads. There isn't an 8th head on the beast, or on this beast that she's seated on. There's not an 8th head. She does not rule over the beast who is the 8th king. We're not talking about empires. We're not talking about the Roman Catholic Church. We're not talking about a literal city like New York or, Brussels or London or Paris. We're talking about a mystical woman who is the extension, the logical worldwide extension of the values and goals of Babel. That's what the name of mystery is all about. So I know that Seventh-day Adventists, like I said before, think that it must be the Roman Catholic Church, but when you actually look at what she's seated on, we're talking about kings. She's seated on kings. And the Roman Catholic Church did not control Rome or Greece or Persia or Babylon. Didn't even exist then. The Roman Catholic Church didn't exist at the time of John. So it can't be the Roman Catholic Church. And just as it can't be Roman Catholicism, it cannot be the United States of America either. So who is this harlot? What is she? Well, she is a system. This is a satanic system of control. We're told that we see her in the wilderness. The wilderness is a place of demons. Remember, the demons go into the waterless places. When Jesus went into the wilderness to be tempted by Satan, he was in the wilderness and there was a lot of wild beasts, and it's the place of demons. Once Mystery Babylon is destroyed, the demons are released, and in Revelation 18, Babylon has fallen and it becomes a haunt of every demon and foul spirit. Why? Because people who had these demons, now they're being released into the world because these people are being killed, whether they're regular people or whether they're earth dweller hybrid people. We also know that these 10 horns are 10 kings, and they're going to receive power along with the beast. Okay, actually, it's this one right here, the 8th king. They're going to receive power with him for 1 hour. This is that unique hour that is described so many times in the book of Revelation. And remember, in the book of Revelation, all time is literal. All units of time are literal. Half-hour silence in heaven is exactly that, half-hour of silence in heaven. And time in heaven and time on earth are synced up so that everything is operating according to the same timeline. That single hour is described in Revelation 18, the destruction of the harlot, Mystery Babylon. And it's in a single hour on a single day. And we read about that also in Revelation 9 at the 6th trumpet. On an hour, day, month, and year, a third of mankind is destroyed. Why? Because she's seated on many waters. Okay, and her control system is like an octopus. It goes everywhere. Her little dirty fingers are everywhere throughout the world. And because we live in a world that's global, globalism is what we're dealing with now. She's a global figure. And she is going to come down because the beast and the 10 kings hate her, and God puts it in their heart and gives the 10 horns authority for an hour along with the beast to destroy the harlot, to destroy this system. And she is going to be destroyed at the 6th trumpet. And the 6th trumpet happens on the same day that the beast begins to reign at the time of the abomination of desolation. Revelation chapter 11 uses the term second woe when it talks about the destruction of the harlot, which is going to be on the same day. There's a great earthquake in Jerusalem, and a tenth of the city falls. 7,000 people are killed, and that great earthquake is going to open up the Mount of Olives, and it's through that opening that the remnant of Israel will flee, and then like they fled through the Red Sea, and then the mountain is going to close back up again, and then the dragon's army that's pursuing the woman is going to be caught in the middle of that earthquake. When the mountains come back together, it says the earth comes to the help of the woman. All right, so that's a different woman. That's the remnant of Israel. This woman right here, she's a nasty gal, and she's symbolic. She's a symbolic representation of globalism and global control that's exercised throughout the world via institutions and systems and governments. She's like everywhere. She's got her dirty fingers in everybody's pie. All right, so she's going to be destroyed. This system that's been in existence since the time of Babel is going to be destroyed on the day of the abomination of desolation. Okay, and that's how that goes. The Roman Catholic Church has become a part of that system. She is a part of that system. The United States is part of that system. Whoever is the current cabal that's ruling everything is a part of that system and is a part of the controllers of that system. And Satan is using this harlot system right now to set up the world, this global world, connected, interconnected world, so that he can have his man reign at the time of the abomination of desolation. And every fallen angel, every entity, every hybrid, every watcher angel who will indwell the body of an earth dweller as the image of the beast will be on earth. And if this were allowed to continue, it says no flesh would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. So if you have any comments or questions, I hope you will leave them in the comments section, and we'll see you on another video. Till then, have a blessed day.